Comic-Con, shit has hit the fan, news is here, and there's only one person covering it. In that everyone is covering it, but now it's my turn. Yeah! Cue title scene. Welcome to clear and 48 frames per second danger. News so epic, you need a giant flying bat with a nuclear bomb attached and risky autopilot to survive it. Yeah. And of course you did not get that that was a reference to one of my least favorite movies ever made, Moulin Rouge. I am here to give the news everyone's talking about. Batman and Superman are teaming up, and this time it's not for fan fiction. That's right, 2015, Superman meets Batman, world's finest. Still no Justice League for another 2 years after that. That's right, DC unveiled their plans. Next year, Green Lantern 2, rumored to have the Green Arrow in it, or probably someone else. Then, 2016, The Flash gets his own movie. And then 2017, we get Justice League. Most likely with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and Aquaman. Why doesn't Aquaman get his own movie or TV show and all this, you might be wondering? Well, there's one good reason for that. He's still facing his ultimate opponent, obscurity. So, what does this news mean? Well, it means they've run out of options. That's right. Why? Because they're horribly disorganized. There's only one way about it. Legendary Pictures is gone. That's Nolan's company. Chris Nolan will most likely stay on board, seeing as he's staying on board for Man of Steel 2. Those of you who are thinking, yay, Christian Bale's coming back and he's returning. No. No, he's not. He's never coming back. Christian Bale is done. His Batman is over. It's time for someone new. Could it be Armie Hammer? Who knows? Could it be Nathan Fillion? No! People, stop thinking it's going to be Nathan Fillion for everything. Nathan Fillion was in one good show, and is in one show that no one seems to care about, but has high ratings and nobody knows what it's about. So, what goes next from here? First up, let's start off with the true thing that made us all poop, the quote. To do this new Man of Steel news, David S. Goyer, Zack Snyder, and Christopher Nolan had the General from Man of Steel come out on screen, and he read a quote from The Dark Knight Returns, which is as followed. In your darkest night, when you're alone in your... That voice is hard. It's easy to do it when I have it planned out. Okay, just put it up. Okay, just put up the quote. Okay, basically, what does this mean? Well, that quote is from The Dark Knight Returns, considered one of the, if not the greatest Batman story, and is considered one of the books that changed the comic industry. Now, does this mean we will see The Dark Knight Returns play out on the big screen? Probably not. Realistically, they did that last movie. Dark Knight Rises had a lot of elements of Dark Knight Returns in it. They can't do that again. People are going to find it repetitive. Also, if you're going to have the concept of Batman returning, it means Batman had to have been there previous. There was no insinuation of that in Man of Steel. Realistically, Man of Steel was never made to start this new Justice League franchise. It's just kind of been forced into it. That sucks. But it's the way things are, and they've got to work with it. That quote was shown because apparently the two have to tussle. Why do they have to tussle? Who knows? Frankly, the thing is that it was one thing in the Avengers. Every member of the Avengers was fairly even in that movie. You know, Thor wasn't trying to kill Iron Man. He was trying to subdue him. He underestimated Iron Man's ability. That's typical. This is different. Batman will most likely take on Superman because of the actions of Man of Steel. You know, a lot of destruction, a lot of insanity, and Batman's a paranoid guy. You know, here he sees this alien figure, you know, all this destruction. Will he be Batman before that? Probably. Most likely the film, this is what I want, it'll have Clark Kent Starting off with a journalist looking into these stories of Batman. And that will most likely be how things start off. Also, this has to be a bit more family friendly. Now, obviously people debate this, but realistically, if you look at Man of Steel, it was a lot more kid friendly than Dark Knight Rises. If you went to Target, Man of Steel had his own toy aisle, for crying out loud. So this is going to be a much more family friendly Batman. Not limping and nipple bed. So realistically, this is going to be a bit more family-friendly Batman, probably an actor who comes across as a bit nicer, probably not someone who goes on crazy rants every time he doesn't get what he wants doing a Terminator movie. And it will most likely just go from there. I'm kind of shooting for Jason Momoa. I'd rather have Armie Hammer as Ant-Man, which I will have more news on tomorrow talking about that story. But realistically, this does prove some problems. Much of what was going on in Man of Steel, critic-wise, was they didn't like that Henry Cavill came across as so charismatic, nice, and just upbeat. We didn't get that feel of him because he didn't get a lot of screen time just in dialogue or talking. I didn't get this problem, but if you're going to put Batman in there, that means less screen time for Clark Kent or less screen time for Bruce Wayne. Everyone wants Batman, but everyone also wants Clark Kent. How can they focus all this when the first film could barely push everything together? What's going to happen? I don't know. And I'm just going to say it, I don't have faith in David S. Goyer. Man of Steel, yes, had put in way too much and was rushed and was insane, and even though this was all awesome for that one movie, it's not going to work a second time. It's like with the Avengers. Avengers 2 realistically needs to up the ante, which it may or may not. Like I said, I'll get into that tomorrow. Where things go from here, it's hard to tell. You have the casting problem. You have, is Henry Cavill good enough to support this whole universe? Can it work? Critics didn't like Man of Steel. If this film fails, then that's it. That's done. Everything's kaput. So what will happen? I don't know. What's going to happen is we're going to get Superman and Batman together. In that same year, we will get Avengers 2, a Star Wars movie, and Independence Day 2. Yeah, it's got its work cut out for it, no matter what.